The first seizure hit me in algebra class. I was 15. One second I was staring at a graph, and the next, the room spun sideways, then black. I woke up in an ambulance, strapped down, soaked in sweat, with some EMT yelling my name like I'd done something wrong. That was the beginning. My name's Travis Moore. I'm 56 now, living in Lincoln, Nebraska. "Don't talk about it at your cousin's BBQ," my mom would whisper, half smiling like I was some embarrassment she had to keep from spilling into the potato salad. People don't like hearing about medical stuff at dinner. Meanwhile, my little brother Josh, 2 years younger, could fart on the couch and get applause. He was the easy one. Straight A's, team captain, perfect hair, perfect timing. And every time I missed a test, puked from medication, or had to sit out of something, he was right there to step in, smiling wide, taking the credit. "You're lucky you've got Josh," Dad would say. "That boy never complains." No kidding. Because every time I was down, he got to shine brighter. At first, I thought he was just helping, but it didn't take long to realize he loved the spotlight, especially when it bounced off my mess. The worst part? No one wanted to see it. Not my parents, not the teachers. It was like my seizures were a bad habit I refused to kick. Only one person treated me like I wasn't broken, Grandma Rose. She'd been a pharmacist for 30 years, and she didn't flinch when I told her about the diagnosis. She asked for my med schedule, helped me build a logbook, and gave me a sturdy lockbox for my pills. "Your health isn't optional, Travis," she told me. "Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for needing what you need." That stuck with me. After college, I found work as a draftsman, remote gigs mostly. Grandma helped me set up a system, backup power, labeled bins, daily alarms. She even paid for the generator. My parents said it was overkill. When she passed last year, I handled the funeral arrangements. Josh gave a nice speech, sweet and polished like always. My parents sniffled and dabbed their eyes, but I didn't cry until I got home and saw the empty chair in my apartment where she used to sit, counting pills with me. I thought I was prepared for her death. I wasn't prepared for what came next. Quick note, before we start, how's your day going and where are you joining from? It happened at the reading of her will. I showed up expecting silence and maybe some keepsakes. Instead, I left with a target on my back. We were still in Grandma's living room. Everyone was packed in, plates of leftover chicken salad and deviled eggs balanced on knees. Mr. Ekiti Keating, her lawyer for nearly 20 years, cleared his throat and tapped his pen against a folder. Before he said a word, he looked at me and gave a small nod. I didn't know what it meant until 5 minutes later. Rose Moore left 65% of her estate to her grandson Travis Moore, Keating said plainly, eyes never leaving the paper. The remaining 35% is split between her son Alan Moore and daughter-in-law Sharon Moore. Her other grandson, Joshua Moore, is not named as a direct beneficiary. The room dropped 10 degrees. Mom blinked like she hadn't heard him right. "I'm sorry. That can't be right. She must have meant something else." Dad leaned forward. "Is this a draft?" Keating didn't flinch. "No, sir. This is the final notarized version. Signed 6 months before her passing, I was present. She made the changes fully aware and of her own free will." Josh sat frozen. His mouth was slightly open, eyes locked on the folder like it might explode. 65%? Dad repeated, his voice sharper now. "For what? Why would she—" Keating looked at me. "Ms. Moore cited ongoing medical care, treatment-related expenses, and the lack of familial support." Her words, Dad stood up. "That's a damn insult." Mom put a hand on his arm. "Let's not do this here." "No, let's do it right here," he snapped. "This whole thing's rigged. Travis always played up his condition. Since high school, he's made everything about his epilepsy." Josh finally spoke. "So that's it? I'm just cut out?" Keating didn't blink. "Ms. Moore made these arrangements intentionally. She left a letter with her reasoning if the will was contested." Josh stared straight at me, like I'd pulled a fast one. His face was blank, but his eyes weren't. I could see it, rage bubbling under his skin. Later that night, I went out back to get some air. The porch light flickered. Cigarette butts in the flower pot. Josh followed me out. "You think this is fair?" he asked quietly. I didn't answer. I could barely look at him. He stepped in closer. "You got what you wanted, but this isn't over." A few days later, I noticed something was missing. A framed picture of Grandma Rose from my bookshelf, the one of us at my college graduation. Thought I misplaced it. Then a week passed. Her old watch, gone. Top drawer, I hadn't even touched it. That's when I checked the lockbox. I tracked every dose. I wasn't wrong. The pills were disappearing. I told my parents. Mom chuckled. Are you accusing Josh? He dropped off groceries yesterday. He's helping you. I didn't smile. No one else has a key to the lockbox. Dad rubbed his temples. Check under the sink. You're always misplacing things. I wanted to scream. Instead, I went straight to the pharmacy. No refills, the pharmacist said, typing fast. Controlled substance. No override without a police report. I didn't want cops involved, not yet. Maybe I still thought my parents would step in. Then the knock came. White envelope. Legal seal. Josh was contesting the will, claiming undue influence. And my parents were backing him. I didn't say a word after I read the paperwork. I went home, ordered a new safe that night. Solid steel, digital combo lock, no keyhole. Hid it behind my old camping gear in the back of the closet, buried under a moldy sleeping bag and a pair of boots I hadn't worn since college. For a few days, I actually felt okay. Not relaxed, I wasn't that dumb, but in control again. Then came Sunday dinner. Grandma used to insist on it, no matter how busy we were. Since her death, it had become Mom's way of pretending nothing was broken. That night, she was all smiles, pulling out Josh's favorite, baby back ribs, garlic mashed potatoes, sweet tea with lemon. She made my plate too, like nothing had happened. Travis, you look pale, she said. Are you sleeping? Taking your meds? I'm fine, I said, grabbing my phone to check the time. I had to be out by 8:30. Pill schedule, non-negotiable. Dad grunted. It's always the pills. Life doesn't run on alarm clocks. In the kitchen, Josh cornered me. He handed over his phone. Left this in the guest room. Can you grab it? I stared at him for a second. His face was blank, like he wasn't asking for anything shady. Just help. Normal brother stuff. I walked upstairs, found the phone sitting on the dresser. When I came back down, he was way too close to my jacket. He stepped back fast, grinned like nothing happened. That night, I checked the safe. Combo worked. Pills were all there. But my gut twisted anyway. The next morning, I got a text from Josh. Left my sunglasses at your place, swinging by around noon. I didn't respond. Didn't let him in. I wasn't even there. Spent the day working from a coffee shop with free Wi-Fi. Got home around 8. Safe looked untouched. No scratch marks. Nothing shifted. But when I opened the med organizer, the one I used every Sunday night to load the week, I froze. Monday to Friday were missing. 5 pills. Gone. 5. I checked the trash, the sink, my bag, the carpet. Nothing. They weren't misplaced. They were stolen. Pharmacy didn't care. Out of pocket, the guy said without looking up. $480, controlled substance. No override without a report. I didn't have $480. Rent was due. Groceries were already tight. That night, I sat across from my parents at their kitchen table and told them straight up, Josh is stealing my meds. Mom looked like I'd slapped her. Josh doesn't need your meds, she said. He's doing great. Coaching, dating, clean record. Are you selling them? Josh asked over his mashed potatoes, completely serious. I mean, if they're disappearing, maybe you're the one. Dad cut him off. That's enough. This is paranoia. Josh is your brother. I leaned forward. So what? I'm just imagining pills vanishing from a locked safe? Mom waved a hand like I was being dramatic. My hands were shaking under the table. It's skipping meds isn't struggling, I snapped. It's dangerous. She picked up her glass of tea, calm as a cat. You always exaggerate. You've been like this since high school. Everything's life or death with you. I stood up. Chair screeched. I'm not asking for a lecture. I'm asking for backup. You're getting hysterical, Dad said, standing too. You need to take a breath. Josh leaned back in his chair and smiled. I walked out without another word. A week before the hearing, I woke up late, head pounding, mouth dry. Something felt off before I even sat up. I opened the closet, shoved past the hiking gear, pulled the safe forward, tried the combo, 7219, red light, tried again, slower, same thing. My stomach dropped. I punched in the code 2 more times before it hit me. Someone had changed it. I stood there, barefoot on cold hardwood, just staring. When I finally cracked it, had to dig through old files to find the backup code I'd set once months ago. I opened it and counted. I always kept a full 2-week supply inside. I had maybe 6 days left. Half my meds were gone. I grabbed the phone, dialed the neurologist's office. Maria, the nurse I'd seen a dozen times before, picked up. "I need to see Dr. Glassman," I said. "It's urgent." They squeezed me in for 11 a.m. In the exam room, I told the truth. Everything. Eyes burning, voice dry. I didn't sugarcoat it. "You locked them away and someone still got in?" Dr. Glassman asked, arms crossed, face like stone. "It's my brother," I said. "But I can't prove it. My parents think I'm being dramatic." She didn't blink. "Travis, this isn't just theft. This is felony-level medical sabotage." I stared at the floor. "You could have gone into status. That's 5 minutes from brain damage, 7 from cardiac arrest. We're not talking about aspirin here." She wrote me a new prescription, flagged my file as high risk, and printed a typed letter outlining everything I'd told her, and her own medical opinion. "If this goes to court, bring this," she said. "I'll testify if I have to." I walked out with 5 days' worth of meds and a 4-figure hole in my bank account. Insurance still wouldn't touch it. Cost me $327. I had $71 left in checking. That night, I sat on the edge of my bed, hands shaking, and took the first dose out of the fresh bottle, swallowed hard, locked up the rest. Then I went back to the one place I swore I wouldn't, my parents' house. Mom was in the living room folding laundry, Dad watching a cooking show like nothing had happened. I handed her the letter from Dr. Glassman. She skimmed it for maybe 10 seconds. "This seems extreme," she said, barely meeting my eyes. "She says I could die without my meds," I snapped. Dad looked up. "That's what you got out of this?" I asked. "The will?" Before he could respond, Josh strolled in from the hallway. He saw the paper in Mom's hand, the tension in the room. "So I'm a thief now?" he said, eyes wide, voice all fake outrage. "That's what we're doing?" I turned to him. "Why were my pills in your gym bag last month?" He smirked. My father stood and clapped his shoulder. "Ignore it, son. He's under stress." I walked out without another word. Again. Later that night, Marcus showed up with takeout. Old college buddy, knew my diagnosis from day one. Had seen one of my seizures up close, junior year, on a camping trip in Kansas. He didn't flinch then. He didn't flinch now. "You need to start tracking everything," he said, setting the bag down. "Time, who came over, what went missing, every pill. Hell, get a camera. They'll say I'm paranoid." "Let them," he said. "Better paranoid than dead." I didn't argue. I just grabbed a notebook and wrote the date. Court day. I'd barely slept. My whole body buzzed like an exposed wire. Took what I thought were my morning meds around 6. Poured water straight from the tap. Swallowed fast, hands shaking. Something felt wrong in my chest. Tight, twitchy. On the drive there, Mom sat in the passenger seat like it was just another day. "Did you take your medicine?" she asked, voice light, casual. "Yes," I muttered, gripping the steering wheel. My right hand was already starting to twitch. We pulled up to the courthouse just before 9. Brick building, low ceiling, metal detectors buzzing at the entrance. I kept my head down. Mr. Keating was already waiting inside, folder in hand, face tight. "Just follow my lead," he whispered. The hearing room was small, no cameras, no crowd. Just benches, 2 tables, and the judge, Harmon, mid-60s, silver hair pulled back, black glasses perched on her nose. She didn't bother with pleasantries. "Mr. Keating," she said, "any new developments?" "Yes, Your Honor," he said, standing. "My client has been the victim of medication theft. We have documentation from his neurologist confirming ongoing health risk." Josh's lawyer, Reynolds, jumped up like her chair had burned her. "That's absurd. He's using this to sway the court emotionally." "Enough," Harmon snapped. "Let's see the letter." Keating walked it over. As soon as he stepped away from the table, my head started spinning. The fluorescent lights above flickered, or maybe they didn't. Hard to tell. The judge's voice stretched like it was underwater. My vision blurred at the edges. My left hand clenched involuntarily. My right foot tapped out of sync with my brain. "Mr. Moore," Judge Harmon said, eyes narrowing. "Are you all right?" I opened my mouth to say something, anything, but nothing came. Just a low hum in my throat. Then everything snapped. My body stiffened. I heard Keating shout. Someone knocked over a chair. "He's seizing!" Keating yelled. I hit the floor. I don't remember how hard, Just cold tile, then heat rushing up my spine, then nothing. I caught fragments. Keating's coat folded under my head. Judge Harmon on the ground, holding my wrist. Josh yelling, "He's faking! He's doing this on purpose!" Someone, the bailiff, I think, barked orders. Then EMTs burst in. "What meds is he on?" one of them asked, kneeling over me. "Try Leptol, daily, twice," Keating said quickly. There was suspected tampering. "Get his medical records," Judge Harmon ordered, "and search both brothers' belongings, right now." I could hear Josh sputtering, even through the fog. "You can't do that. He's putting on a show. I didn't—" Footsteps, more voices, doors opening and closing. Then one voice cut through it all. Young, sharp. "Found something, ma'am." Josh's messenger bag hit the table with a thud. The EMT opened it. Inside, one orange pill bottle. My name, 7 missing pills. Everyone went silent. Reynolds jumped to her feet. "Your Honor!" Judge Harmon raised a hand like a blade. "Miss Reynolds, sit down. Your client is now under criminal investigation. This hearing is suspended effective immediately." Josh tried to speak. She shut him down without looking. Not another word. Someone helped me onto the stretcher. Everything felt heavy, like I was underwater. As they wheeled me out, I saw my mom standing against the wall, arms folded, face pale. Dad looked straight at the floor. Josh was still at the table, mouth open, completely still. He didn't say a damn thing. I woke up to the sound of beeping, slow, steady. My tongue felt like sandpaper. IV in my arm, hospital gown. My chest ached like I'd run full speed into a wall. A nurse leaned over me, adjusting something on the monitor. "You're lucky," she said. The seizure lasted over 5 minutes. Paramedics got here just in time. A different doctor came in an hour later. Dr. Patel. I'd never met her before. "You had status epilepticus, Mr. Moore," she said, flipping through my chart. "That's life-threatening. You could have died." I just nodded. Didn't have the energy to say much. Didn't need to. The door opened again around noon. A man in plain clothes, mid-40s, walked in, badge clipped to his belt. "Detective Harris," he said. "Just wanted to let you know. We found your medication in your brother's bag. 7 pills, same prescription, same dose, same pharmacy." I stared at him, blank. "He's being charged," he continued. "Possession with intent to distribute, among other things." I didn't say a word, just looked out the window while he wrote something in his notebook. Later that evening, my parents showed up, both red-eyed, both looking like they hadn't slept. Mom sat in the corner chair like it was burning her. Dad stayed standing, hands jammed in his pockets. "We didn't know," Mom whispered. I turned my head toward her. "Didn't want to know," I said. "I told you, again and again." "We thought you were just stressed," Dad offered. "You've always been sensitive. And with the will—" "You thought I was lying," I said flat. Neither of them argued. The door creaked open again. Detective Harris leaned in. "One more thing," he said. "Your brother was selling the meds. We traced a few sales already. Local college kids. That's how he paid for that new car." Mom covered her mouth. Dad sat down without a word. For once, they had nothing to say. The next day, Judge Harmon signed off on a restraining order against Josh. He wasn't allowed near me, my apartment, or my medical information. She also froze any future changes to the will until the investigation wrapped up. Mr. Keating came by the hospital a few days later. Brought me some fresh clothes and a copy of the court order. "Judge said your grandmother's will stands," he told me. "Exactly as she wrote it." I just nodded. I didn't feel proud or smug, just tired. That night, for the first time in months, I slept. No checking the lockbox, no setting backup alarms, no wondering who'd been in my place. Just quiet. The truth was finally out. And this time, I didn't need anyone's permission to believe it. 6 months later, I was in a new apartment. Smaller, but safer. Reinforced locks. Entry cam. Nobody got in without clearance. The court finalized everything in April. I got Grandma's full inheritance, just like she wrote it. A medical trust now covered all my epilepsy care. Prescriptions, appointments, backup generators, everything. Josh pled down. 6 months in county jail. Probation after that. Felony on his record. No sealed deal, no easy out. I didn't visit, didn't write. Not even when he sent some half-assed apology letter from rehab, rambling about pressure and feeling invisible. I shredded it. My parents tried too. Letters, voicemails, even one box of cookies. Said they were in therapy now. Trying to unpack years of denial, I replied once, short and clean, I need time. That was it. I wasn't angry. I was just done being their scapegoat. Done begging people to believe me. I started showing up at epilepsy groups downtown. Small rooms, coffee and foam cups. Guys like me trying to hold jobs and lives together while managing a body that could betray them any minute. Every time, I told them the truth. Don't downplay your health for other people's comfort. Some nodded, some cried. A few sat stone still, like they were hearing their own life spoken out loud. Marcus helped me build a home studio. Cheap gear, clean lighting, quiet space. My design work picked up quick. Referrals, clients, even some steady contracts. I made my own hours now. Grandma's photo sat by my bed. Same frame, same smile. Every night, I counted my pills, took my dose, locked the box, just like she taught me. A few months ago, Judge Harmon sent me a letter. Said she'd been thinking about my case. Your story might help others, she wrote, if you're ever ready to share. Last month, I said yes. I joined a panel for the Epilepsy Foundation. Bunch of folding chairs and fluorescent lights in a rec center gym. Told my story into a mic that barely worked. Thought maybe 2 people were listening. Afterward, 3 guys came up. Same thing happened to me, one said. Family wouldn't believe me either. I nodded and told him what I wish someone had told me back then. You're not alone, and your health isn't up for debate. Some fights come looking for you, and if they do, you fight. If you're lucky, like I was, you come out the other side. Scarred, sure, but standing.